Welcome to G.M.E TV, where we highlight some of the hottest artists around, from models, musicians, comedians, the clubs. You name it, we highlight it. And I'm your host, Antoine.
And I'm A-Dot.
And we coming at you live at G.M.E TV. We back with G.M.E TV. And the topic of discussion today is old school versus new school, you know what I'm saying? But before we get into that, let's go to a video by B. More Ben and C. Gutter, Ratchet City, G.M.E TV.
Yeah. 410-443 shit, nigga. Yeah, baby. Home of the brilliance, baby. Home of the hoes, you know.
You won't live long in my ratchet city. All my niggas wild, boy, they ratchets with them. You won't live long in my ratchet city. Home of that murder land where you get murdered, man. You won't live long in my ratchet city. All my niggas go and get it, we some go-getters. You won't live long in my ratchet city. Yeah, I know they hate, but I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Niggas don't live long in my ratchet city. Yeah, I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Niggas won't live long in my ratchet city. You don't live long in my ratchet city. Niggas here pressed down while you with your bitty. Leave you color purple, no reference to silly. Ride off 12 o'clock and y'all call it Willie. Here's no respect, we live no regrets. Fiends off more lines than the etch sketch. Even those who thorough get put to the test. Here your right hand, the wire in the corner, a snippet of us. Get out of line, niggas chopping you up. Bro in the club, we mopping you up. Homie, don't play that, socking you up. Thinking that chillin', they riding you up. Thirsty for pussy, and get you the dub. Damn your beauties and faith in the trust. Go from good hearted to giving the fuzz. Miserable company, yeah, that be us. Crashing the burrow, living be rough. She go for healing the past the fuck. I just thought mama was bagging it up. Been since the apple was slapping in mud. Shit is too real, that is just us. We visit foolish, don't forget corrupt. You saying we get a had it enough, bruh. You won't live long in my ratchet city. All my niggas wild, boy, they ratchets with them. You won't live long in my ratchet city. Home of that murder land where you get murdered, man. You won't live long in my ratchet city. All my niggas go and get it, we some go-getters. You won't live long in my ratchet city. Yeah, I know they hate, but I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Niggas don't live long in my ratchet city. Yeah, I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Yeah, I know they feel. Niggas don't live long in my ratchet city.
It's Gutter Boy, I'm dope as fuck. NBL, y'all know what's up. Molly Tab stuff in her butt. This bad bitch, she's trying to fuck. Blue dot, she wasted. Blue dream, she facing. Her head game's amazing. Black meets Caucasian. This money I'm chasing, and I ain't trying to give it up. This ratchet ass city got a good ass nigga out here trying to live it up. I point, pick, and I bust big shots to my enemies. I know where you got that courage from. That bottle of Hennessy. I'll make the whole world remember me. I'm popping niggas tops, Kennedy. We can do a real big victory. Putting other raps to shame, misery. Only way I'm going down is in history. They ain't shit to me. Stop hating, motherfucker, come get with me. This city spit on them like Mr. T. So keep your mouth shut, don't Twitter me, don't mention me. You a bitch, motherfucker, don't exist to me. NBL is a team that's shit to me. Orchestrate this bitch like a symphony. See, Gutter.
Niggas won't live long in my ratchet city.
And that was the video by B More Ben C Gutter Ratchet City. Today's topic we going into is old school versus new school, and that's a hot topic that's been talked about for a long time. Devron, what you think about the old school versus new school situation? What's the distinct difference between the two?
I don't know. Old school versus new school. That's real interesting because you know, this whole rap and hip hop thing is still a very young art form. You know, when you compare it against other genres of music, you know, your soul, R&B, rock and roll, what have you. You know, so when you consider it old school, you know, at least in my mind, when I'm thinking old school, I'm thinking 30 years or so. You know, when this thing has only been around for about a good 40 years or so. So now, in saying that, yeah, we got old school, 40 years. You know, we deep in it.
We deep in it. But I'm talking more like the distinct difference, like.
Well, I think back in the day.
Let me be more specific. Like that's sort of like a broad statement. Let's talk about the tracks, track-wise. What was the distinct difference that you think was difference between the old school and new school, and what side you like better track-wise?
I think, and this is just my opinion, I think the major difference between old school and new school tracks are the drum patterns. The drums have morphed, and the drums, you know, the drums are always the foundation. You know what I mean? But you know, when you got guys, especially as the South started to move in and claim their piece of this whole thing, you know, you started seeing things happen with drums that you hadn't seen before. And like, you know, like when Timbaland hit the scene, he like kind of changed what everybody thought was supposed to happen with drums and drum patterns and how that works. So for me, I think the most distinct difference between old school and new school as far as tracks go are the drum patterns. I mean, you know, and then these guys are coming up with these, you know, these crazy 100 million beats per minute tempos. So, you know what I mean? It's a lot more fast paced. It's a lot, you know, the drums work a lot more.
So, with that being said, as far as the drums, do you think that the drums take away from lyricism?
Well, the drums on the whole track, unless we talking about something like top billing on the old school side, or clips grinding, or you know, for a new version of just solely a drum track type of feel. And this has been the case since, you know, beats and rhymes been put together. Like, some tracks are just so astronomical that, you know, some people can be defeated by the music. You know, as an MC, it's your job to understand how to maneuver with the music and not be consumed by the music.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think you could blame the advancement of the music on the digression of the lyricism, or, you know, however that works. I think, you know, it should go hand in hand as the beats progress, and the rhyme and the lyricism and all of those things should progress as well.
Okay, you know, because a lot of people, a lot of artists got different styles of the way they do it. So the drums, so you are you saying that the track itself versus the style, if you have a certain style, I don't think that, I mean personally, I don't think that everybody belongs to a certain track, but in your case, drum patterns and a style of rap, do you think that the style go together with everyone, or you said it's the job of the artist?
Well, you know, in terms of old and new school, I would probably be what's considered an old school cat. Yeah. You know, and so, you know, as it applies to being an MC and all of that kind of stuff, you know, I come from a different time and place where, you know, when being an MC, you had to be able to deal with whatever might have come your way.
Right.
You know, like KRS-One said in the song, and I quote, MCs pack raps for all tracks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
it don't matter, you know what I mean? You put it
what
on.
track
If
it
you
is.
call yourself an MC or if this is what you do, you're supposed to be able to do something with that, right?
Yeah, because the reason why I asked, I agree with that too. You know, it's like a, you know, go hand in hand. You know, I heard artists say this before. You know, this beat is not my style, and you know,
Right,
so that's
right.
why I was saying that. Now, old school versus new school. Do you think with the technology and the downloading the music, if that didn't come on the scene, where do you think hip hop would be at this point in time?
I mean, well, and again, when you go back to the advent of this whole thing, as it applied to the musical portion of it, this whole thing was kind of founded on the latest technology of the day and the ability to sample from previous recordings and make something brand new. You know, I mean, I remember starting out, my man had the little 8-second sampler with the tape deck, and that was the upgrade because first he had the 4-second joint.
That's right.
And the Casio keyboard,
Yeah.
and we was recording straight to cassette.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for y'all that don't really understand what that mean, like y'all got multi-tracking, and you could lay down your verse and go back and overdub, and it wasn't none of that. And if you had a crew joint, if one person messed up, everybody got to start over. Everything is one take. You dig what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
you know, it's a whole different thing, you know. So, and we were doing this with the latest technology at the time, and the technology we had wasn't the latest at the time.
Right.
You know, so I'm never the one to fall victim to the it's what you use. For me, from where I'm from, it's always how you use it.
Right, right. Yeah, you can continue this conversation on Facebook.com/